Hello, so welcomes back everyone. Wolf here with even more Star Wars The Old Republic. We are here once again on the world of Ord Mantell, playing as our Republic trooper, Isaac Clarke. A quick apology for the lengthy UI explanation at the beginning of part 2. I didn't expect it to go on so long. I guess I had plenty to talk about, and hopefully we won't need to do that again. Though there may be some relevant UI information I do need to discuss as the game progresses and we discover or open up some additional windows. But in terms of the storyline, we should get into more action now, as we have arrived here at Fort Garnik and we have met the rest of Havoc Squad and actually gained our first mission as part of the team. So, before we look at the mission log, we actually did pick up another codex entry on Havoc Squad itself. The founding unit of the Republic Special Forces Division, Infantry Squad 326, codenamed Havoc Squad, is renowned as the Army's most elite fighting team. Despite the total secrecy of Havoc's missions, the team has taken on an almost superhuman reputation on both sides of the war. Unstoppable commandos who can strike anytime, anywhere, regardless of opposition. Before Special Forces existed as a separate division of its own, Havoc Squad was attached to a standard infantry division throughout the Great War. It wasn't until the Battle of Talloran that the squad rose to galactic fame, leading a small group of wounded and recovering men to victory against a massive Imperial invasion force. The value of small elite units had been proven, and Havoc Squad was later chosen as the model for a full division of highly trained and agile infantry squads. The Republic Special Forces. Indeed. And as we discovered, Havoc Squad, each member of Havoc Squad get their own call sign, their own code name. Of course, we had Gearbox, we had Fuse, Needles, Wraith, and I believe we as a character also have a call sign, though I don't think we are ever referred to with it. I believe that call sign is Meteor in canon, though I can't remember where I read that. Either way, here at Fort Garnik, we are on our way to the east, to Tallaran village, to meet with a informant who claims to have information about the missing orbital strike bomb. Yes. We know the orbital strike bomb was stolen by separatist forces. And yeah, Commander Tavis, the leader of Havoc Squad, has issued our first orders. Locate this Republic spy, find out what he has learned about the bomb's whereabouts. And upon completion of this mission, of course, we'll earn a few more credits, some more experience. We'll earn ourselves a new chest piece and another 3-hour experience booster as well. In addition, as you can see from not only the minimap down here, but visually, there's a few quests available to us. So, let's get ourselves underway, shall we? I have seen your comments. In fact, very, very briefly, thank you. I appreciate your comments, especially on part 1 and of course on part 2 of this series. Especially with a new series, the comments are greatly appreciated. And sincerely, I appreciate you offering me your time in watching the series, and I hope you all enjoy the journey that we are all gonna go on here with this new Republic trooper. Thank you for sharing time with me, thank you for giving me your time and your patience as we get into some gameplay at long last. So we have a fellow sergeant here. I'm guessing you're part of the Mantellian forces.
Soldier! You're Special Forces, right? I have an urgent mission for you, if you can spare the time.
Is something wrong?
One of my boys dozed off on guard duty last night. Let the fort's stock of medicine get stolen. If we don't get that medicine back, them good Republic soldiers are gonna leave Ord Mantell in body bags.
Any idea who took the medicine?
Sleepyhead claims he woke up as the thief was making her escape. Only saw the back of her, but she looked like a Cathar. The Cathar are aliens, sort of cat people that live nearby. Some were driven out of their homes from the fighting. The refugee camp is a good place to start. Please hurry. Good soldiers' lives depend on this medicine.
Very well.
Hurry and get that medicine. Lives depend on it.
So, medicine was stolen from the storeroom, or storehouse here. Very well. We have an exploration mission. The symbol is slightly different than the one over Sergeant Hurd's head, but still a mission all the same. This is the Ord Mantell military database. Military intelligence has recently learned the location of several separatist safe houses. These facilities are hubs for the illegal transfer of military secrets, and they must be neutralized. The Ord Mantell Authority will compensate freelancers who are able to successfully shut down these safe houses. So, as I mentioned, it talks about freelancers because not only are Republic troopers soldiers here, but smugglers may also wish to pick up this quest. And as we travel out of Fort Garnik, we do have another refugee camp right here. And it just so happens there is indeed a Cathar amongst the refugees. Before we speak to her, we might as well see this lore object on the refugees of war. Oh, I totally forgot that we wait a minute, is it the daily reset? Oh bloody hell, I timed that well. Yunks, I'll take those login rewards. I forgot to pick up the one from yesterday. And actually, is there a galactic season? There is. The greatest bounty. I actually haven't bothered looking at this this galactic season at all. Oh well. I'm sure I'll look at that when I have a bit more free time. Either way, some more experience, boosters, something we can sell to a vendor worth 3,000 credits, and of course the codex entry we picked up on just a lore entry. With the war against the separatists turning increasingly ugly, thousands of farmers, laborers, and government employees have lost their homes and businesses. Those who remain loyal to the Republic flock to places like Fort Garnik, seeking food and shelter. Sadly, there are only so many supplies to go around, and small shanty towns outside Fort Garnik overflow with impoverished people running out of options. As food, medicine, and other basic necessities dwindle to nothing, these refugees resort to desperate measures for survival. Crime and exploitation run rampant, with refugees frequently turning against each other over a half-eaten Nutripaste stick. Indeed, from the sounds of things, situation here outside of Fort Garnik amongst refugees is getting desperate, with resources limited, and of course Republic soldiers gaining priority over their needs.
I'm sorry, Raiso. I don't have any medicine for you today.
It hurts.
I know, but there's nothing I can do right now. I'm sorry, honey. Hi. Sorry, I didn't mean to ignore you. It's just crazy around here right now. What brings you to the camp?
We're looking for some medicine that was stolen from the fort. You wouldn't happen to know anything about that, would you?
The sleeping guard must have sent you. Yeah, I saw the guard sleeping at his post, and I took the medicine too. It's no use trying to cover it up. See, I took the supplies to help the refugees. More and more of them are dying every day. The Republic won't help. So when I saw the guard sleeping, I helped myself. But then the separatists took the medicine from me. Now they have it, and we don't. So here's the deal. You agree to bring the supplies to me so I can give them to the refugees, and I'll tell you which way the separatists went. Unless, of course, you'd rather the separatists keep the medicine.
You're bluffing.
This isn't a game. I'm serious. I'm tired of being bullied because I don't carry a gun. If the war doesn't drive people out of their homes, the soldiers come and extort money out of them. Sometimes, someone's driven out of here only to be robbed. Taxed, they call it, on the way here. But they won't suffer for lack of medicine. Not if I can help it.
I'll bring you the medicine.
Sorry for the guilt trip. But I hope you realize you're doing the right thing. Raiso here, at least, will be grateful. The Separatists fled to Tallaran village. Please hurry. There are people here in critical condition.
Let's just do this and be done.
I'll take what I can get.
So we picked up a codex entry on the Cathar species, of course. Yale, of course, guilt-tripping us about the plight of the refugees, and of course I feel for them, but if Sergeant Hurd is telling the truth, Republic soldiers also need this medicine. And if the Republic soldiers can't keep fighting back against the Separatists, the situation here is just going to get worse.
I know, Raiso. We're all hurting. But it's going to be okay.
And we also have an additional side, or is it side or is it exploration missions? What are they called nowadays? Exploration missions.
Oh no. Where is it? Oh no. What am I going to do? What? Oh, what? It was terrible. The Separatists came to Tallaran village in the night and drove us out of our homes. We had to leave everything behind. We'd lost it all.
We've all lost something in this war.
I know. I know. I will be so glad when it's over. I will never get my home back, I know that. But when I fled, I left behind an heirloom that belonged to my great-grandmother. Please, I've lost my home. I've lost everything. But if one day I do manage to get off this planet, I just want to take this one thing. You will get the necklace for me, won't you?
I'll see if I have time.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Oh, I don't know what I would have done without you. Thank you.
Okay. A missing necklace, an heirloom, claims to be back in Tallaran village belonging to Alma here.
Have you found my necklace yet?
Very well, let us continue on our way. Now I believe either Mantellian or Republic soldiers are keeping the Separatists contained within the confines of Tallaran village itself. And here we are, another codex entry. Guess I'll have a quick look at it before we enter the village itself. One of the few settlements around Fort Garnik not originally founded by criminals. Tallaran village began as home to the laborers and their families who toiled in the island starship port and shipping warehouses. The people of Tallaran were hard-working, mostly poor, and easily exploited by the corrupt businessmen in charge of Ord Mantell's government. When the separatists came to the island, Tallaran was the first village they infiltrated. The people, long oppressed by the existing power structure, were ready to side with anyone who offered them a way out. Ironically, siding with the separatists only got the workers trapped inside of their village as the Republic laid siege to the enemy occupation. Indeed, it's not a good situation for people in Tallaran village, but I think that's true for people of Ord Mantell anywhere. Exploited by their government, exploited by the separatists, and according to the refugees, they're also being exploited by the Republic. Whether that's true or not, we will have to wait and see. Okay, well, we're looking for this Republic spy, this informant. We've been asked to deal with any separatist henchmen who are destabilizing the area. The separatists have even reprogrammed a few assault droids to keep control of the area. In regards to the stolen medicine, it's normally in the hands of these strong separatist commandos. And we can actually see our first... Ow! Our first mission item that can be looted. Now we do have a shipping warehouse here, which is normally a place you would need to go if you were playing as a smuggler. We can talk very briefly about phases or different instances. Sometimes you'll see these glowing red or glowing green phase gates. If they're red, it means you cannot interact with them, you cannot go through into that area, because it's not for your class, or you just don't have permission to enter it at that point in time. Of course, as we mouse over, this tells us that room is for a smuggler, for a particular point in their main storyline. We will encounter various kind of phase, archways, doorways, caverns, as we explore the various worlds of this game. So, before we can find the main uplink of the separatists, we do have these data links dotted around Tallaran village, as was demonstrated by Matamort there. We needed to disable both of the data links here in Tallaran village, and then follow them out further to the north. However, this apparently is Alma's house, where her heirloom is meant to be hidden. Rather than find her heirloom, however, we find an alien.
Irsogomos, type saprata kadjis rais kiatag, karogia gia Israel Christai, Dasnia sia lagia ristik. Smorcio pobudas mana ir padre mana narcali.
Are we talking about the same necklace here?
Nas intimas antivarojaya la bant karaminai. Daznai as apis mastinis miagas rupas tisar. Gis pasake da gia patmas visada. Bavo pastai.
How could you know this?
Atrodo no mala somogo, todo bavo apietai. Agia nai tai pato, as linkes passi viki vasas. As apis maste ni agas, rupas tis a.
If she's an Imperial spy, we can't let her get away with it.
Irsogomos, type saprata kadjis rais kiata. Gratai aptikte, iruprit vertini savasia salvebe kaijis.
Where are these scavengers?
Tintas nas bava dalev, aja paslaptis griafs lakinis. Naras tingas fagas.
So, Ibenka here claims to be part of the Republic, and that Alma is an Imperial spy. This necklace, this heirloom, seemingly a communicator that she uses to, obviously, relay information back to the Empire. Unfortunately, with her abandoning her house, scavengers took the opportunity to raid the place, and the heirloom is missing. Now, we have no proof that Mbenga is telling the truth, but he has given us the direction the scavengers traveled in, and we might be able to discover the truth for ourselves. Before we continue in search of the data links and this missing heirloom, let's go meet up with this Republic spy. Unfortunately, around the corner, we just find the body of the person we were meant to meet. Doesn't seem to be anything on his person, but of course, a certain someone was watching through our body cam.
Great. Bellis is KIA. That's some fine work, Sergeant. Do you think you could have taken a little longer getting to the RV point?
It isn't my fault Bellis went and got himself killed.
Yes. I'm sure the fact that he was standing around suspiciously waiting for you to arrive had nothing to do with him getting shot. However, there is a chance you might be able to find out what Bellis learned. If you follow procedure, Bellis should have left a coded recording of his discovery in his field box, hidden somewhere inside his home in Tallaran. Remember, if the Separatists know Bellis was a spy, they may already be searching his house or waiting to ambush Republic agents as they come. Stay alert. You have to get that field box from Bellis' house before the Separatists do. Double time it.
Roger that.
Jorgen out.
Yeah, and of course we're getting chewed out. I don't exactly think it is our fault, but the plan is not exactly going according to plan. But we do know the location of Bellis's home. Let's go see if he did indeed keep a copy of the relevant information that he believed the Republic might be interested in. No separatists waiting for us.
Excuse me? What are you doing in my house? Is there no limit to your nerve? You barricade the town, you break into people's homes. Are you insane? You're going to blow my husband's cover, storming in here in plain view. What are you thinking? Bellis isn't even here. He left for some kind of meeting. Now get out of here before you raise suspicions.
Can you tell me where to find your husband's field box, ma'am?
Look, Bellis told me that no Republic people would come here for anything unless he was... Oh, no, not Bellis. He can't be dead, no! Bellis risked his life every day for you, and now you've gone and gotten him killed! My poor, sweet Bellis.
There wasn't anything I could do.
Bellis was a good man. Now he's dead because of some stupid war on a backwater planet no one cares about.
Please. A lot of innocent lives are on the line. We need your husband's field box.
Why should I give it to you? You got my husband killed. All of you. You killed him.
Bellis was loyal to the Republic, ma'am. He would want you to help us.
What he wanted was to make a living and keep a roof over our heads. You took advantage. You paid him to get himself killed.
You don't know what you're talking about.
Don't feed me that garbage. You want the field box? Fine, it's over there. Take it. Take it and get out.
This area isn't safe. Separatists will probably be swarming this place any minute.
Like you care what happens to people like me. Oh, Bellis.
I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news.
Please, just leave me alone.
Okay, we'll take the field box. Oh! Hi! Oh, that's interesting. Let me double check something. Abilities. Commando. Yes! Again, back in the day. Both Jedi... how to put this? I'm trying to think if smugglers had this as well. I don't think they did. Jedi Knights and Commandos used to have a toggleable stances, basically like lightsaber combat styles, and different energy cells that they could use depending on the discipline you took, and the combat styles as a Jedi Knight, and the different energy cells would have different effects and complement the discipline that you would perhaps choose. Nowadays, this is all automatic, you don't need to activate it, and we have started with the plasma cell here, which has a 25% chance to deal additional elemental damage. We're basically setting people on fire. And if we were to stick with the gunnery discipline, when we hit level 15, we'll actually unlock and switch the plasma cell over to the armor-piercing cell. The assault specialist actually sticks with the plasma cell, as the assault specialist is more about dealing damage over time and stacking these kind of burning effects on a target. And I think the combat medic also gains like a healing cell, which changes how your hammer shot works. I think. It's been a while. Either way, we have what we need to return back to Fort Garnik. But since we're here, let us go in search of those scavengers and the data link hub that the separatists are using to intercept and transmit military secrets. And we have a new bonus mission to eliminate 8 scavengers out here on the beach of Tallaran village. Level 9. And amongst some of these chests and barrels, we do actually find this heirloom. The Republic agent asserts that this is a communications device. Okay, so we fought our way through the scavengers, and have found even more separatists here at the waterfront. Ooh, what's this? Okay. As we explore the game, we may end up receiving various types of companion gift. And we'll learn about companion gifting and influence when it becomes more relevant. There's the data link hub right here. And we actually find our first security chest. Now, these come in small and large sizes. They can be interacted with anyone, any player, and they'll normally contain some crafting materials, and yeah, maybe a little bit of armor, which may or may not be what it's probably not as good as what you're wearing. I mean, it actually comes with a set of wrist guards here, which are actually half decent because we're not actually wearing any wrist guards. We'll take the crafting materials. They'll be stored away in the materials inventory. And here's the major satellite control terminal. It seems this terminal was used to tap into information from Fort Garnik. If we ever return to Fort Garnik, we should let the communications officer know that a lot of communications to and from Fort Garnik were probably intercepted. But we need to get ourselves now back over to Tallaran village. We still need one more bit of the stolen medicine. And then we can head back to the Republic Command Center. So we need to find one more separatist commando, I believe it was. have a strong arms master. But when we mouse over, there's a tooltip next to our quick bars that appears here. And that would normally indicate if they were related to a quest. And I'm guessing these won't have the stolen medicine. They do have an ability which will slow us down for a small period of time, however. Yeah, you can see now if we mouse over this separatist commando, we can see the tooltip is mentioning that they are related to the Mercy quest. Excellent. Now, do we choose to trust this apparent agent of the Republic and hand over the heirloom to Mbenga, or do we take the heirloom to Alma, the refugee camp? Either way, neither of them are giving us proof of their identities. But just in case Mbenga isn't telling the truth, I guess we'll entrust the communications device to him.
Daznai as apis mastinis miagas rupas tisar.
Take the heirloom.
Verai dag ama confidankas bavanal unguts.
Shouldn't you go arrest her?
Grata apatiki eprit vertini zavazia zavebe kazis. Tintas nas bavadalev aja paslaptis griafs lakinis.
Okay, so Mbenga wants to discover who Alma's contacts are and lay a trap. Very well, good luck to him. And we also reached level 10. Which means we now have access to the conquest log. Very well. Yeah, we've actually picked up a new quest as well. The Introduction to Conquests. Very well. One thing I should mention about conquests, similar to heroic missions, which we'll look at in the future, we will receive this cache of armor. Now, the quality of the weapons and armor we receive from these caches depends on our character or on our player's level at the time. So at the moment, because we're level 10, we're getting the requisitioned Boltmaster's armor set. But each of the armor sets has their own name. They may also be related, or the names may be related, to the worlds you visit later on as well. We also gain 2 new abilities. Tenacity. Again, it has a 2-minute cooldown, but allows you to purge any incapacitating or movement impairing effects, which is quite useful in PvP if you use it at the correct time. And one of the more staple abilities of the Commando, which we're going to pop over here, the Mortar Volley. It has a 3-second channel, and it has a 45-second cooldown. It launches a volley of mortar shells at a target area, dealing a fair amount of kinetic damage up to 8 enemies within 5 meters. Standard and weak targets are knocked down. For example, we can choose where to place it. The cooldown is reasonably long, but we will have almost what I would call like a lesser version of this ability granted to us probably relatively shortly as well. Now, we do have the stolen medicine. And again, we have to make a choice. Do we hand it over to the refugees? Or do we take it back to the sergeant in Fort Garnik for Republic soldiers who have been wounded? While I feel for the refugees, I feel that getting more Republic soldiers into the field is more important, and so I will not be handing over the medicine to Yale. Oh. Oh, yes.
Tell me you got that medicine. Nurse says one of the boys has gone into shock. He won't last much longer.
Now, in the mouse over, this indicates this is actually a dark side choice, because the light side option would be to give the medicine to the refugees, and yet I feel like either option would be for the best. So as if we're keeping the medicine for ourselves or selling it on the black market.
I hope that's all of it. It, passed through quite a few hands since last night.
Good work. I'll call the medical bay. Get them to pick it up ASAP. You should be proud. You saved a lot of lives today.
Thank you very much.
Here's your pay. Don't know how dangerous it was. Even stepping out your front door could be deadly on Ord Mantell these days. Good work. And thanks again.
You are welcome.
Good job getting that medicine back. I don't know what would have happened if you hadn't.
Yeah, and I don't want to know either. And we actually got our first bit of headgear as well. There'll be times when I want to wear headgear, there's times when I won't wish to wear headgear. This particular helmet is not one I find desirable. Now it looks like... Oh, hello. Hello, Sergeant.
Sergeant, good to see Havoc Squad colors in the field. Nasty fight out here. Can't tell friend from enemy half the time. Seps just take off their uniforms and blend into the villages. Still, Fort Garnik's one of the better posts. Good for training, you know.
How long you been in the field, Sergeant?
Just about 3 years now. I don't think I'd be here if it wasn't for the instructors at the FG. Head up and see Lieutenant Forrest when you get a chance. He'll help you survive in this craziness.
So as we discussed in part 2, it used to be back in the day, every time you leveled up, it might be worth visiting what was called like a class trainer. And there used to be different class trainers depending on your origin, your class at the time. And see if there was any new abilities, any new skills that were unlockable. In fact, in the very first iteration of this game, you would have to go see your class trainer and spend your hard-earned credits on upgrading your skills as well to make them more powerful. As we mentioned, nowadays, skills just automatically appear in our quick bars and they level up with our character. That wasn't always the case.
Command's sending out new tactics all the time.
So this was the Republic Trooper class trainer here for Fort Garnik. They now have the title of
Stay sharp out there.
Speeder Piloting Trainer, because I think speeder piloting might be one of the few skills which you still need to go visit a trainer to unlock the higher tiers of. Over on the far side of the entrance to Fort Garnik is the Smuggler Trainer. There's a Rhodian here. So we have a Jedi Knight here. Now, before we head back to the command center, let's go find this communications officer and let him know about the separatist data link hub. Oh. What's going on over there, I wonder? Of course, we know that Fort Garnik was, of course, simply a spaceport, which was then fortified by the Republic to aid in bringing in supplies and troops to fight against the separatists.
You're in charge of communications? I found a relay at a separatist safe house. They were tapping your signals.
Blast. I thought we put a stop to that a month ago. I'll red flag all recent transmissions. Make sure nothing major leaked. I owe you one.
You are welcome. And we picked up another codex entry on the separatist movement. We'll have a look at that in just a moment. The reason I was talking about the spaceport, of course, is because the spaceport itself is right here. Now, one thing to mention, as we visit various worlds, outside of your character's dedicated spaceport or landing zone, you might find what is called the Heroic Mission Terminal. Heroic missions tend to be missions that can be completed once per day, unless it mentions it differently, of course. Heroic missions, there used to be missions that were completable with you and a companion, known as Heroic 2 missions, as you can see, but also used to be Heroic 4 missions as well, where you might need to party up with at least one other player and their companion as well. There are still a few Heroic 4 missions around in some of the optional quest chains that we may or may look into in the future. But suffice to say, Heroic missions also may have a quest giver NPC dotted around the world you're exploring, some of which the quest givers have been removed. As for these quests here, I think buying loyalty is still available as a quest giver, so we'll leave that one alone. You can see, of course, we will gain so much experience, and again, a lockbox containing 2 pieces of armor, which is determined by your character's level. And we also end up with a mission item. This is called the Heroic Transport, and depending on the quest you have, this will teleport you to a safe area close to where the Heroic mission is taking place. So we have something known as Savrip Island here to the northwest, and we'll probably end up on this beach just before you cross the ford onto Savrip Island itself. We'll just disable these quests, we'll untrack them for the moment. Suffice to say, we'll look at those heroic missions later on. All 3 heroic missions take place on Savrip Island, so it's not a major inconvenience for us. We do have a codex entry, of course, on the separatist movement. Shortly after the end of the war between the Galactic Republic and the Sith Empire, a series of scandals revealed corruption within Ord Mantell's government. Both local journalists and an official Republic Senate investigation proved vital in removing the corrupt cabinet members. But at the same time, a small but vocal group of citizens decided they'd had enough. The protesters declared that the Republic wasn't doing enough to stop Ord Mantell's criminal leaders from exploiting common citizens, and that any official investigations were half measures. These separatists demanded the planet's independence. Unsurprisingly, neither the Republic nor Ord Mantell's leaders were prepared to answer the cries for secession. No one realized how powerful and well organized the separatists had become until a massive coordinated bombing attack destroyed every major spaceport across the planet. The destruction left the world in chaos, crippling its economy. As the government retaliated against the separatists, Ord Mantell descended into civil war. The separatist terms for peace are simple: resignation of Ord Mantell's entire government, trials and imprisonment of its criminal leaders, and the immediate recognition by the Republic of the world's independence. With a seemingly inexhaustible supply of fresh recruits armed with military-grade weapons, the separatists show no signs of backing down from this fight. How the separatists gained military-grade weapons, we're going to find out in very short order. There's a couple of answers. One we'll find out a bit more later on. One we'll find very shortly. Okay, put that belt on as well. Everything else, that's a companion gift. The rest can be sold. Yes.
Oh, Sergeant, hey, you're back. Good job out there in Tallaran. Really nice work.
I'll take the field box you retrieved, Sergeant. And maybe next time, you could bring me a live Republic agent instead. Lieutenant Bazern here still thinks you're mission-worthy, so he has a task for you. He'll brief you while I start decoding Bellis' intel.
Oh, yes, we found an urgent lead while you were in Tallaran, Sergeant. The perfect op for our new assault specialist.
What's the assignment?
Here's what happened. This refugee comes into the fort, right? Not that unusual, but this guy says he knows about a separatist bombing. One happening today. All we got was his name, Miru. 'Cause he was thrown out of the fort before we could get to him.
I don't think throwing informants out is standard procedure.
Bums come here every day trying to trade intel for credits. It's bogus 90% of the time, so the grunts downstairs usually chase them off.
I guess Miru could be lying, but what if he does know about the ZR-57? We can't take that risk. Anyway, we looked into it, and Miru is staying over in the refugee camp. See if you can find him there.
Yes, sir.
And while you're gone, Jorgen will decode the information from Bellis' field box. Hopefully we'll find out what the separatists are hiding.
Now get to the refugee camp and get Miru's intel, soldier. If this bombing's happening soon, there's no time to waste.
So, you wanted me to go get intel from a Republic spy. Obviously that didn't work out, but you also then disregarded potential intel from a refugee. Who's running this outfit, by the way? Hey, level 12. We have our new chest piece here. Another experience booster.
You should probably start heading for the refugee camp, Sergeant. We need to find out what Miru knows. You know, ASAP.
Indeed.
You have your assignment, Sergeant. Stop wasting time.
One thing I will also point out is now that we are level 12, I'm not sure if this was true at level 11, I may not have noticed it. You can see our level has been shifted down to level 10. There is kind of level syncing depending on the world you're on, so that the enemies you encounter are always going to be potentially a challenge during encounters. Which means that on various worlds, your attributes may be capped. Normally this would be indicated by, I think, the attribute number being a golden, which means it's not going to go any higher. We're likely going to be level synced for most of the game, up until we get to the end game content. But let's go to the northern refugee camp. Let's find this Miru, shall we? See if his intelligence is actually legitimate or not.
Oh no, not this again. What, you people didn't have enough fun beating me up at the fort? Gotta come find me here too? You're nothing but thugs in uniform, and your bosses are going to hear about it. Your boss's bosses! All the way on Coruscant, you hear me? You're going down.
You have every right to be mad, sir, but I really need your assistance.
Look, what do you want from me, huh? Because I've had enough of you people for a lifetime.
You said you had information for us earlier. I came to find out what you know.
So, now you want the information. Well, you know, I probably could have helped a few hours ago, before that whole savage beating I got. But now, after all the trauma, I might have just forgot everything I knew about any separatist bombings.
Please. Thousands of lives are at stake here.
What about my life, huh? Things ain't that easy out here for me. Now, if I knew how much the Republic valued my contributions, say, with a few credits, my memory would probably be much better.
I'll speak to my superiors about your compensation after we've acted on your intelligence.
The same superiors who threw me out of the fort? I don't buy that for a minute.
The situation is different now. Getting your intel is priority one.
Fine, fine, whatever. Just remember who it is who helped you out on this, alright? I saw the Separatists hiding a bunch of bombs alongside the road near here. You know, setting up an ambush. I heard them say the bombs are timed to blow when some troop convoy is going past. I don't know when, but it's gotta be soon. So, are we done here? Because I got a lot of work I need to do around the camp today.
Keep your eyes open. We need all the intel we can get.
Oh yeah, sure. I'll stay in touch.
All right, Sergeant. I copied what Miru said, and this bomb situation sounds like the real thing. I want you to head for the road Miru described and locate the Separatist hidden bombs. A troop convoy is scheduled to move through the area any minute now, so you need to get those bombs defused ASAP. Double time it, soldier.
I'll move out right away.
Jorgen out.
Okay, time to deal with those explosives before the troop convoy passes by. Seems the Separatists are still in the process of setting up these explosives. Gives us a chance to thin out their numbers and clear the supply route. Here's one of the explosives right here. That's the bonus mission. Excellent. So all the explosives disarmed.
Sergeant! Sergeant! Excuse me, Sergeant? I'm very sorry to bother you, sir, but you're the only person I could think to go to. All of the other officers I've met here are completely corrupt. All but you, sir. I know I can trust you.
I appreciate your trust, Private. Now speak freely. What's this all about?
It's my CO, Lieutenant Verk. He's scamming everyone in his command, and nobody does anything about it. Verk forces all of us to kick up to him to get safe postings. Credits, weapons, stuff we confiscate from the SEPs, everything. If you don't play along, Verk assigns you to the most dangerous patrol routes on the island. It's like a death sentence.
Corrupt officers give us all a bad name. Someone should report this guy.
My buddy tried to report him. The next day, he disappeared to Tallaran. And the day after that, he came back in a box. You're in Havoc Squad, sir. You're important. You could talk to someone who matters.
I'll inform my superiors about Lieutenant Verk's activities immediately, Private.
Thank you, sir. So much. I really appreciate this. I do.
If that's everything, Private, you're dismissed. Stay safe out there.
Yes, sir. Thanks again, sir.
Ah, Sergeant, good to see you again. Superb work on that ambush situation. Adaptability like that is what Havoc Squad is all about.
We're no closer to finding the bomb than we were before.
Not for long. I have good news. Lieutenant Jorgen has finished reviewing the intel from Bellis's field box. It's given us a real breakthrough.
Did Bellis manage to uncover the ZR-57's hiding place?
He did, Sergeant.
Bellis discovered that the separatists have the ZR-57 secured inside their supply outpost on Manat Point, a small island just off the coast.
I sent Wraith ahead to reconnoiter the outpost, and she successfully located a secured area where we believe the bomb is stored. Judging by the dramatic increase in the number of guards and the complex security systems installed, we're certain the bomb is there.
Honestly, with security like this, Manat Point looks more like an Imperial military base than a separatist hideout to me. I think the Seps are getting a helping hand, Commander.
From the Imperials? That seems unlikely, Lieutenant. Surely our spies would have discovered any Imperial involvement on Ord Mantell long before now.
Fighting Imperials is what I signed up for. I say bring them on.
You said it, Sergeant.
We can discuss the possibility of any Imperial connections later. Let's focus on the mission at hand. Wraith can't breach the secure area of the Manat Point outpost alone, so I'm sending you in immediately. The Manat Point bridge is out of commission, so you'll have to make an amphibious approach to the island. When you arrive, effect entry into the supply outpost and rendezvous with Wraith inside. She'll give you further instructions at that time. Understood?
Before I go, sir, there's a lieutenant named Verk running a bribery scheme with the men under his command.
Verk? I know the guy. He's a pretty pathetic officer, but nobody's ever made any official complaints. None that I heard about, anyway.
Lieutenant Jorgen and I will see to this. You should get moving to Manat Point so that you can rendezvous with Wraith inside the Separatist outpost. Dismissed.
Okay. Oh. Picked up a codex entry on Commander Tavis himself. And we have received another generator. Okay, all good stuff. And level 13. Oh. And we got a codex entry claiming we are respectable. Which I think is a title. The respectable. Yes. We will earn titles depending on our light side or our dark side alignment. Alignment for the Republic Trooper. of course, we will probably end up aligned one way or another depending on the choices we make throughout the game. It's not really going to have an impact. I don't think any dialogue will change depending on our alignment at the time. Depending on the choices you make as a Sith warrior or a Jedi Knight, there are some dialogue differences, especially near the end of the base storyline. For the Jedi Knight, at the end of Act 1, well actually throughout Act 1, depending on your alignment, there may come some dialogue differences, which is quite interesting to say the least. We'll have a look at the codex entry for Commander Tavis at the beginning of the next part of the series.
You have the coordinates for the supply outpost on Manet Point, Sergeant. Wraith is going to rendezvous with you inside, so move out.
So we are going to be heading on our way to this Manet Point.
Manet Point is an island off the coast, Sergeant. Hope you're ready for a swim.
Excellent. We'll probably get a codex entry for Manet Point when we're closer to the island. Suffice to say, let's pull up the UI elements again. Manet Point is here to the east of Fort Garnik. As Commander Tavis mentioned, the bridge to Manet Point was destroyed by the separatists. Now, Lieutenant Jorgen mentioned that Manet Point's layout is more alike to an Imperial base than a base created by the separatists. The fortifications are impressive, but that's for a particular reason, and as I say, when we learn about Manet Point through its codex entry, that will explain why. It will also explain how the separatists actually may have become so well armed. Looks like we also received a bit of mail. We'll have a look at that mail and the codex at the beginning of the next part, of course. And yeah, we need a rendezvous with the second in command of Havoc Squad, this Wraith, to aid in the location of the ZR-57 orbital strike bomb. We believe the Manet Point supply outpost may hold the explosive, all things going well. Either way though, this is a good place to take a break once more. Thank you all for joining me once again with even more Star Wars The Old Republic. As always, feel free to leave a comment if you so wish. It is greatly appreciated if you do so. And hopefully I'll see you for even more next time. Until then, no, take care. Bye-bye now.